Or we're gonna be live.
This is
There we
it.
go. There we are. We are now live.
Please, Cabana.
Oh, hello. Welcome back to the weekly SKTLs crypto call post TWC tradingwithcody.com chat that happens 3 to 4 Eastern, usually every Wednesday. So hey, speaking of that chat, we also have Sanatsi. Good to see you. It's been weeks, maybe months. Where have you been? Are you okay? I know you wrote us a letter to try to get out of your absence, but can you tell us in person what happened?
10, yeah, we were gone for 10 weeks and we stayed in multiple cities on the Aegean coast and also on the Mediterranean. Uh, Probably 4 cities. So,
Nice.
and then, we're back. It, it's, it took some getting used to, we've been gone for a long time. This was by far the longest that we stayed. Uh, you know, but it's good to be back.
Well, it's good to have you back, Sanatsi. You're a missed presence around here when you're not around. If nothing else, you keep the vibrations from going like this when Cabana and I are talking.
So one thing I need to tell you, I don't know if we're going to be able to actually get together, Piper and I. That is after this call, but during like between around 2 and then 3, we were not able to get together because Piper had to attend a meeting. Um, he also did his calculations, so we're just going to compare notes and to finalize March and April rewards, Skydle rewards.
Cool. Thanks for doing that as you often do for us.
Sure.
And yes, we will, if you will, just as always, let Daniel know. He'll do that. Speaking of which, Daniel Ing, thank you for continuing to do all of our crypto back office, back end stuff he put together based on our discussions and the 4 companies that submitted applications to receive the Skydles Award this year. There's voting going on right now. Is it over? I think there might be another day of voting.
Well, he put it in voting yesterday, I believe, and I voted right away as soon as I saw it.
Cool. Well, excellent. I will go vote after this call, and we'll. But yeah, so we're going to make the award. I think next week we'll give away. It'll be probably $20,000 or something worth of tokens to 4 different companies. Is that about right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
It's exciting stuff, and the whole point of this cryptocurrency was to try to use the concepts of cryptocurrency to actually do something beneficial for the world, or in this case, the outer world. And that's what we're doing. So very exciting that we continue to plug along and do this. I've had some great people along the way. I feel fortunate to have met Sanatsi basically through all of this. I knew Cabana a little bit before this, but I sure feel like we've gotten to know each other a lot better. And obviously, Bryce and I spend way too much time together, so it's not been helpful at all. Yeah, go ahead, Cabana.
Well, I was going to say we started, just right off, with you exiting the tradingwithcody.com chat, and you made a rather significant move that this channel would find significant, I guess. Could you tell us about that move and what went into that decision?
Yes, I appreciate you bringing it up, and was thinking I should probably mention it anyway, so I'm glad you segued us over to it. I am in the process of selling my Rocket Lab shares, both personally and in the hedge fund. Sold a lot of it today. And we will going to finish doing that over the next day or two. It was not it was one of the hardest decisions I've made. I feel like I've been putting it off for months and months. Several points to make. Number one, that, I had a lot of, I had money tied up in it. I had ego tied up in it. I had been on Fox Business and on this channel talking about owning Rocket Lab as the best publicly traded space play. And that's still true, by the way. The last part, it is the best publicly traded space play, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's something I have to own. Another point to make is just not being caught up in your emotions and the fear of missing out, the shame. Maybe that's not the right. That might be a little harsh. But
shame.
The shame of making that bad of a pick for that long. I've stuck in this stock for 3 years, and I don't know that I've ever was up on it. And it's a good company, and they've executed on their vision. But the stock, as I knew at the time, and I told this, anytime I discussed it, I'd always say, look, this is a startup space play that's not profitable yet and it's going to have to raise more money at some point, and it's very risky. That is true, and it didn't work, at least for yet, and it still might. It is a good company, and it is only one of 2 companies that can send things regularly to orbit. But sometimes you just have to clean your head out. And to do that, you have to clean the portfolio too. And I've made 2 really hard mea culpas this year, and 2 really hard decisions that resulted in making those mea culpas. And that was selling Intel and selling Rocket Lab. And both of those, I went on TV. I've been at conferences. I had a lot of money tied up in both of them, and neither one of them worked. Bryce pointed something out yesterday that he said he's been thinking about for a while, and that is, when I make a great investment, it usually works out within 6 months, or certainly within a year. You see that move start to work. Tesla, when I started buying it, it went down for the first month, for the next 2 months after that. But within 6 months, we were starting to make some money. Google, I bought it on the day of the IPO, and by the end of that day, I was making some money. And Apple, I probably lost money on that for a week or 2, and then it started making money. And that's back in 2003, and I still own it. So there's
more recently, Transmedics.
Exactly. So more recently, Transmedics. I bought Transmedics, probably 3 or 4 months ago, and it's darn near doubled already. And, and it's part of it can be timing. Again, if you came in and started buying Rocket Lab today, it might very well be up in a year or in 6 months. But I need to clear my head. I'm fallible like everyone else, and I get my mind bogged down, and I get emotional, and I need to step away sometimes and clear out the portfolio. I'm trying to raise cash for the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and have reduced the number of positions in the portfolio from close to 30 to 15 or 16 at this point. And you can't do that unless you make a lot of hard decisions along the way. That was Rockwell, not to be confused with NVIDIA's, what are they calling their new thing?
Blackwell.
Rockwell. Anyway, that's the decision. It's been, even talking about it now, it's painful. It sucks. It's embarrassing. But, to quote the great granddaddy Johnson Stearns, whose name is on the bank building outside of here, Bryce's great grandfather, my wife's grandfather, he used to tell us all the time that if you have an ass kicking coming, you might as well take it.
All right.
So there you go.
And it was, I guess, a voluntary ass kicking because you didn't have to sell it, but you thought it was the best decision, so you did it. But
I think that's sort of what I'm saying. It was necessary. I can come back and buy it in a month, higher, lower, or at this price. I can come back and buy it tomorrow. I can do, but holding it for 3 years and watching it bounce between 4 and 8 when I bought it at 10 has been the wrong decision, and you got to just step back sometimes. So, yeah.
There you go. What else? What's going on in the space world since we don't have Lieutenant Dano?
Well, he texted and said he is caught up in a meeting doing space stuff. But that's his full-time job, so that probably makes a lot of sense.
Pretty important.
Like the Starship, it's what, 10 days away?
June 4th or June 6th, something like that. Does that sound right to you guys? Proposed launch date?
Somewhere in the next 10 days. You know, there was a hit piece on Elon Musk in the New York Times. And
June 5th is the target date currently.
Split the difference, Bryce. It was another silly hit piece on Elon Musk. I mean, there are things you can complain about with Elon, but complaining that SpaceX is too dominant because it's the only company that can do what it does was a frivolous argument. It seemed silly. Like the whole, I don't know if you guys saw the article, but it was an article in the New York Times yesterday, detailed. I mean, I bet it was 3,000 words, and it was just point after point of like the startups who compete against SpaceX complaining about how SpaceX was too cheap, not charging enough. And then the article was like talking about how NASA is doing too much business with SpaceX but it's the only one that they can use. And then they're like, and in fact, SpaceX sends all of its competitors' satellites to space. Exactly. It's the only one that they can even get to space with, and it actually does. Anyway, the endless thing with Elon and the press and the media and the partisan politics and all of it. Oy vey.
And you didn't even bring up the Tesla shareholder vote, which I find absolutely ridiculous.
Again, absolutely ridiculous that a judge somewhere has voided a contract between private parties, shareholders, and Elon that we agreed upon years ago. He delivered on everything that at the time, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen the clips of the people on CNBC from 4 years ago mocking the plan as ridiculous and asinine and impossible, and he literally was like, I want nothing if I don't get it all. Like I have to deliver all of this extreme stuff, 10 times stock price movement. I've got to do 5 times revenue growth. Got to meet these financial metrics, like all of this stuff. And it was ridiculous. I remember looking at that and thinking, I believe they can do it, but my gosh, to put it in writing and to put your career on the line with that stuff, that guy's got more guts than I know what to do with. And now they're going to void it. Shareholders, I think most of the shareholders, certainly the retail shareholders, are all in on Elon. Give it to him. He deserves it. I don't know about the institutional side. CalPERS today came out and said they're not going to support it.
Yeah, I saw her this morning, and she said the performance didn't warrant it or something. I'm like, it's in the writing, and he did. Like the price increase and everything, like all the metrics, it's legit. It happened. Who are you to like? Are you trying to?
What was he? The stock needed it 20 times.
Right,
evidently.
Greedy to be like, no, it should be even higher now.
Yeah.
To justify that. Even though it was a 10 back to here. What did the stock do from the time of that vote to now? At least 10 back.
10 back, right? Yeah.
I think it was like 14. Somebody said, but
14. Okay, yeah.
A lot.
And you have a fund manager, I guess. What's that going to do to the stock if she gets her way, or whoever that rep was from CalPERS?
Yeah, like apparently, they don't
like
have.
You're just fudding your own bags at that point. Like you don't do that. Like
the guy, the newbie in the worst crypto chat room on one of those. What do they do it on the chat rooms these days?
Discord?
Telegram, Discord.
Telegram. Yeah.
They're all like, those guys know not to fud their own bag.
Yeah.
But the lady who runs $40 billion of teacher retirement money is going, I think I should probably FUD my own back.
Like,
So, Nuts, you know what FUD means?
FUD? No.
Cabana?
Fear, uncertainty, and doubt.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So you're throwing that on your own position. It's just
you don't need to throw fear, uncertainty, and doubt on something you have had in your portfolio for years. What are you going to say?
I just wish they would sell the stock. Like, if you
Yeah,
were
just
gonna
get out.
Right.
just get out, sell the stock to us, we'll buy it at 150 or whatever you want to sell it at, and then we'll vote for Elon.
Yeah, take it down to whatever level. Bryce and I, Tesla's gotten to be, it's been our biggest position in the hedge fund since I launched it 5 years ago. And we opened up a bunch of exposure, sold all of our puts and hedges on it 6 weeks or 2 months ago.
got down
And-
below 140, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly, well, maybe around 150, 140. And then lately we buy a little bit of Tesla almost every day in the hedge fund. And it's like this thing now, we want it to go up every day. Yes, absolutely. But if it goes down, we'll swing the pit, we'll swing at those pitches. Take it down to 130. We'll
Like
buy
Warren
more.
Buffett and his treasury bills every Monday morning, except it's you and your Tesla bills every Monday morning. You sit
Tesla
them
is
in there and you buy some treasury bills, and you do it every Monday morning.
Yeah, that's funny. No.
But
anyway, yeah, it's been an interesting time. We should also, while we're on space, we should just talk this. You guys realize the ULA is still at least saying, the United Launch Alliance is still saying they're going to try to send 4 astronauts to the International Space Station on one of their own ships.
I want to read that quote. I'm going to find it.
Oh, you got to read this quote. Bryce and I yesterday about fell out of our chairs when we were just, it's almost like schadenfreude. You guys know what that means? Like, it's like enjoying the pain of others or something. It's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah.
But it feels a little schadenfreudish, but it's almost like as investors in SpaceX and just as United States tax-paying citizens, it's sort of like at this point, like, like how bad can it get at Boeing and ULA? And when you think it's as bad as it can get, this quote comes out.
Yeah, so this is from a newsletter about space, and it's talking about the Starliner issues. And it says the team at Boeing NASA determined that the helium leak is most likely due to a defect in a seal within the manifold or its incorrect installation. And they believe it is not a common design issue across the 27 other components in the vehicle. They plan to fly with it. Replacing the seal would take too long, and Boeing engineers are confident that they could complete the flight even with a complete blowout.
How would you like to be the astronaut sitting on like liquid nitrogen and helium on fire at 10,000 degrees on a tank, and you're like, yeah, the seal doesn't really matter. I'm sure it'll be fine. So, Nazi, would that fly at your old firm when you were chief scientist at a giant telecom company? Didn't you guys have something called 5 nines reliability that you stood by?
Most companies do that. 5 nines. 5
nines. What should it be for a rocket ship with 4 human beings on it? I would say at least 5 nines. 99.999% of the time, the rocket should not blow up with you on it.
Seems reasonable.
That's reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what 99.999 5 nines reliability means? How often your phone is down every year? So, Nazi, what is it? Like a day and a half?
No,
less than that.
Like half a day?
It's
2 hours?
Like
2 hours.
15 minutes.
2 hours?
Or less.
Yeah.
I would say about an hour.
But there were times growing up, I would pick up the phone and it'd be like, the phones are out.
That's the ideal.
Yeah, but it would be that rare. Hey, Cabana, you're getting your Salesforce just blew the 230 level, 228.
Yeah. I'm like,
come on, keep getting better.
I know. I'm looking at like 220, and if it hits that, like I was like fine with like 230, but if it goes to like 220 or below, then I'll probably just rip the Band-Aid off. But
and do it. Buy it or sell it. You don't? Do you own it? We don't even know.
No, I don't know it. I was just curious because I knew earnings were coming up tonight, so I asked that in the chat. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, everybody watching this, go vote on if you're a SKTLs owner, go to your MetaMask or whatever wallet you use, and you know,
Daniel pasted the link.
Yeah, let's post the link real quick in here.
It's in the SKTLs.
There it is. Snapshot.org. Here we go. Cabana, will this go on the actual YouTube page if I paste it here?
If you were pasting it
in the chat on the right side of the screen on the stream?
Yeah, it'll be in the chat replay. I mean, you can always just post it in the description.
Will
after.
you just in the comment section of our video? Will you copy and paste?
Yes. Description will be fine. Yeah.
Perfect. And did we tweet about it from our SKTLs account to vote?
Not for the voting. We tweeted about the nominations.
Are you texting a girl?
No, it's our broker's asking questions. It's T+1, and this shit is.
I don't believe it for a minute.
All right.
So yeah, if you'll throw that up there, then that would be cool, and throw it on Twitter, please. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, exciting stuff. Let's give some money away.
All right.
So Nazi, great to have you back. We missed you. Thanks for being back. Cabana, great to see you. I missed you. I didn't see you for a week, so it's been a good 13, 14 days.
Yes, good to see you again. Are you in good health now?
Mostly. You know, I got to keep. We played some pickleball last night.
There you go.
Bryce, with my 10-year-old daughter and the wind going against him, I pulled out a white-knuckled victory, but I did it. It was close.
All right. Congratulations.
Cody, Bryce, did you get a chance to join the AI index report? The link that I forwarded to you.
I bet he hasn't yet. But
it's
I
done.
You.
It's done.
It's over?
Yeah, it was.
I didn't know that was today.
Today, yeah, I signed up for it. I got the email and I forwarded to you last night. But you know, the upshot of it is really multimodal AI. That's one of the main highlights. Audio, images, all together, not just text.
Yeah, voice, image, even physical world. Hey, so Nazi, every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern, I think I mentioned this in the email.
You mentioned that. I will join.
We'd love to have you.
I will join.
Hang out with John and us and contribute to that. That'd be amazing.
Sure.
Cool. So, and by the way, the people watching on another YouTube channel, which one is it? Train with Cody?
Cody Willard.
Cody Willard's YouTube channel. We host an AI Revolution call most every Monday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So check it out. Sanatsi will be our special guest this week.
Nice.
Yeah. Cabana, thank you, sir. Good to see you. Sanatsi, thank you. Everybody watching, thank you. Thanks, SKTLs, contributors, volunteers, soldiers in the Army, thank you. The police force, first responders everywhere, teachers, we thank you. Bryce, I thank you. Anybody?
Thanks.
Anybody want some comic relief before we go?
Thank you, Cody.
Whew. Thanks. Needed that. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon.
All right.
All right.
See ya.